Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here with our VDUB Bug Enduro Cup, and it's round 3 at St. Croix. And what an exciting race we've got ahead for you, hopefully, anyway. You never know until they happen. But I'm assuming this one's going to be a humdinger of a race, a track that people aren't used to using. It's a long track, and again we have that jeopardy of the fuel running out, so you never know what may happen. I'm just trying to find any information that I need to tell you. We're at St. Croix. It's 13:20 sunny in game. The track is 5.89 miles long, and it's 21 turns. So yes, a very, very long track. Shall we have a look at some of the guys going around? There we go. Oh, I haven't taken the big numbers off. Yeah, there is the Russian sensation in his love machine. And it's looking rather good as he makes his way around this. I think it's a street circuit. It looks like a street circuit with lots of turns and lots of jeopardy. I'll tell you what the championship table is like at the moment. Tonight you will be treated to, at 8 o'clock, a 15-minute qualifying session, which in itself is going to be quite difficult, because I think it's a good 3-minute lap race, 3-minute lap track. A 3-minute lap. Takes 3 minutes to get around a lap, at least. So to qualifying, they're going to struggle. They've got to get round with the outlap in as well, and they may have to fuel up in that 15 minutes. It's going to be a bit of a struggle for them. There you go. You can see it. 3:03 from Sharon there. It's not the fastest. Oh, Dunkel B has gone fastest with a 2:59.630. So yes, that 15 minutes qualifier is going to be. They're going to have to manage their time extremely well. And then after the 15-minute qualifier, we move on to a 60-minute enduro race. And we have the fuel set at 5, the tyres set at 5. So car management is big. It's a big deal in this championship. And we've seen some interesting races. Last week we had some, it was really sort of tight near the end. We had a couple of guys vying for positions right up to the last minute. So we'll see what we're going to get this time around. The championship table looks thus so far after 2 rounds. Digital Blasphemy is leading the way on 30 points. Matt Psycho in second on 29 points. Cthulhu is third on 26 points. Skyjacker is fourth on 22 points. Racer Brown is fifth on 20 points. Then we have Daz in sixth on 17 points. Koikarp seventh on 16 points. JOO Pace in 8th on 14 points, and Sharon 9th on 12 points. Uncle B Darren is 10th on 11 points, with Electric 11th on 9 points, Joker's 12th on 7 points, Turtle 13th on 7 points, and Rido 14th on 5 points. If you want to check the tables out, they're in our Discord. You can find your way to Discord through, if you look if you're watching this on YouTube, you just click on our About and it'll tell you all the links. So you're more than welcome to come and join us here at Discord. We're a friendly bunch. And if you go to our website, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk, all updated tables for all our championships are up and posted on there. So there we see Uncle B Darren. Unfortunate for him last week, he was leading a majority of the way, but he missed his pit stop. I believe that's the reason he pulled out of the race. Missed his pit stop, and he would have had to crawl around for a whole lap, so he withdrew. Unfortunately, it would have been interesting to see where he ended up. He had a different tactic to him and Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho was going slow and easy in second place, saving his fuel, whereas Uncle B Darren was going fast and furious and burning through that fuel. Digital Blasphemy, there's your man. He's the man leading the championship so far. 2 podiums, but no wins so far this championship. He'll be looking to break that duct and get on that top step pretty soon. In the chat, we've got Skyjacker saying, evening, dude, and we've got Pat saying, what's up? France is looking nice again today. It's sunny, isn't it? Sunshine in the French, is it Alps? I don't know, there's a mountain in the background. So, Digital Blasphemy making his way around, and we're only 3 minutes away from the qualifying. I hope these guys are prepped and ready. There is Turtle in his M&M's Beetle. They're using the Group 3 Beetle in this VDUB Bug Enduro Cup. It's the only car. It's a one-make series. And the feedback's been okay. They kind of like the VDUB Bug. Electric out there. Missed the first round through internet issues, but he was there and he was prominent in the second round. Did very well for himself. I can't remember what position he got, but he did all right. He did all right. Uncle B, UB in the chat saying, evening Majiggy. Can't miss pit this evening. No, it's a very long lap. It's a very, very long lap if you missed that one. Ranger, that's a very nice looking car. That looks to me like the work of Koikar, but I don't know, possibly, but it looks very nice. It might not be, but Ranger missing the first 2 rounds, I believe. This is his first round with us, and so he might be on the back step. He's not sure on how to fuel save in this, where these other guys have learnt. It's all about the short shifting in this Beetle. It's got high torque, I think. So screaming the engine out does not help it. Does not help with your speed whatsoever. You've got a short shift, and that helps with fuel. And you know, it's all about driving responsibly. Pat in the chat saying it's hard to find a Gulf liveried car. That doesn't look nice. I know they do look good. Skyjacker's asking if we're ready. I'll get involved. Mr. Psycho out there in his Peroni Beetle, the winner from last week. And what a cracking job he did as well. Let me just let the host with the most know I am up for this. And Rivixter also appearing. Oh, that's nice as well. Rivixter appearing for the first time this season. He's been unable to make a couple of the rounds. He was sick. He was sick the week before. There goes Matt Psycho, just putting it on the fastest in practice as we go towards qualifying. And like I said, qualifying's going to be interesting here. I don't know how they're going to play it. They're going to be, I imagine, well, I guess they'd want to crawl around the outlap just to save on that fuel. But on the other hand, they'll want to get round qualifying quick so they can get as many laps in as possible. Uncle B looking very sexy in the paddock there. Digital Blasphemy in his garage. And the other guys have all made their way out to the track. Sitting on board with Shiren. I don't know. There we go. They're not meant to overtake. They've got to spread themselves out. I haven't seen Koikarp. Oh, there he goes. Yes, Koikarp's there in 11th in the VRC livery, looking absolutely dazzling out there. Rivixter yet to come out, but it's only a 15-minute, so you've got to get out there and get your time in. And Uncle UBD saying thank you. So Digital Blasphemy, as you can see in first gear, we saw this from him last week. He really burns the fuel out on his outlap. He really tries to burn that fuel so he's got a lighter Beetle for his flying lap. He tries to get that weight down. It's an interesting philosophy. The other guys just making their way around for their outlap. And there's a couple of straights on this. It's quite squarey, isn't it? Some of the corners. So you imagine they might want to stay close together, try and claim a slipstream from each other. And Matt Psycho not too far behind Skyjacker, and that's wise. He knows Skyjacker doesn't go wrong too often. Oh no, he's backing off now. So an Electric's catching him up. Electric's going to go for the overtake. Oh, right. Well, hopefully Matt Psycho won't mind about that. He just has to back off a little bit more. Uncle B still sitting in the pits. And a Skyjacker making his way around, not even halfway around yet. This is how long the lap is. It's a proper cross-country trek for these guys. Daz looking magnificent in his Liqueur Molly car. Sharon, he's got a bit of everything on that. MTV, Atari. It's one for the generations. Ranger in his Gulf. He's got Turtle not too far behind. Jocus in his Rockstar. Looking very nice, that car. I do like the Rockstar livery. Quick. There's Digital Blasphemy. Still in that first gear, still screaming. The ball's off the bug. To try and lower that fuel down. But it's a long track, so he's only going to give himself one shot at this. Rivs are back in the pits. Although I suppose they could save time. I suppose as soon as they've done a flying lap, there's nothing in the rules to say they can just quit straight out into the pits and then top up and go back out again. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. We might see some cars just disappearing at the end of their fastest lap to get to the pits quicker and to get back out there for another out lap. But I don't think they're going to get many laps in. We'll have to see. Like already, there is Skyjacker, 15 seconds into his first flying lap. He's already used a quarter of a fuel tank up. So, I mean, if they're clever, they're only going to get about 4 laps. But that will equate to nearly 15 minutes, I imagine. 12 minutes. It's going to be an interesting race indeed. But shall we get on board with Mr. Skyjacker as he makes his way around Cinquoir? You can see the delights of this French track, this street course, street enduro course, very long. It's like a rally stage rather than a race. I'm never going to know any of these corners. I don't think these guys do, because like I said, it doesn't pop up in our events that often. But it is a very nice track. I've driven it a couple of times just for fun. It's a nice fun track to test out cars, because it's got a bit of everything. It's got a few straights, got some tight corners, got some nice long corners. So it's a good track to test out cars. Here we go. Here's a tight one now. Ooh, lovely little chicane there. Well driven by Skyjacker. As he makes his way around. He is the first car on track, so his time will be the one we can tell. And there's barriers everywhere. There really is. You make a mistake, you're going to hit a barrier. Here we go. Goes fast into that corner. Up the hill though. That helps slow the car down. Over the bridge. Lovely long straight to open up the car a bit. Looks like a tight chicane coming out of it. Heavy on the brakes, touch that apex on the inside, point the car to the left. See, the front end looks a bit understeery from this point. So maybe these cars not gripping at the front end as much as these drivers would like. It's very slidey indeed is that Beetle. It's looking. So Skyjacker in his monster bug, making his way around, and he hasn't made a mistake yet. He's going to have a good time. There is Electric, not too far behind him. In his Acylic Designs. Beetle and Matt Psycho in the Peroni, following those guys. And then we have Daz in the Liquor Molly. Skyjacker's set a time of 3 minutes point 3. And we have seen Electric has gone a 3:01.1. Matt Psycho managing a 2:59, so he's gone top of the table at the moment, top of the grid. Daz has set a time faster than Electrics with a 3:04. Sharen's gone a 3:01, so he's gone fourth fastest. Ranger is coming towards the line. He's done a 3:03, stays sixth. Turtle behind him does a 3:03.9, stays in seventh. Joker's coming towards the line now. He's gone a bit slower, 3:07. So Coy could jump a couple here. A 3:04, he goes up to eighth, just ahead of Joker's. Digital Blasphemy, we saw him screaming that bug out, trying to run the fuel, get it lighter. And he's making his way around. It doesn't look like Rivixter is qualifying. He wants to start at the back, possibly. So Digital Blasphemy is the next man. Will be crossing the line. Goes over a sector, but they've got nothing to put their sector times against, if they've not already set a time. Mama Sykes in the chat saying, hello peeps, hi thingy. Hi Mama. Looking forward to your boy. He might get another win. He's got pole so far. Doing a stand-up job in the bugs. And here comes Digi. It's looking like it's going to be low 3 minutes. It's not going to be a pole time, but good for fourth. Good for fourth there from Digital Blasphemy. Next man on track is Uncle B. He's just coming around the last few corners. He's up this straight. Then he's got a right-hander. And then he'll be heading towards the line. And already you can see we're only less than 7 minutes left of qualifying. So well over halfway through qualifying, and they've only managed to put one lap in so far. And there goes Uncle B. Oh, lovely from Uncle B, up into second place. A 2:59.4 from Uncle B. Super stuff. He's making Matt Psycho sweat for this one. So Matt Psycho making his way around. Skyjacker is first on track though. We'll see if we can see a sector time from him. He's just gone through one. It didn't show, did it? Oh, here we go. 0.1 up on his own time. And that won't be enough to catch up Uncle B and Matt Psycho, but it's a long, long track. And I think Electric is next on track. Oh, he's dropped back, hasn't he? Is Skyjacker nearly ready to do another? Oh, he is. He's gone into the pits. There you go. See, we were saying this could happen in qualifying. And there is Electric following him in. Matt Psycho. He's behind a couple of others. Are they all going to pit? Uncle B getting purples again. Daz crossing the line. Doesn't go any faster on this lap. Matt does go in. Sharen goes faster. Sharen goes up to third place. Gets himself ahead of Skyjacker and Daz with that lap. And these guys making their way around. They'll be pitting on this next one. Turtle goes faster with a 3:03. And that puts him in... Ooh, I don't know where that puts him. Behind Ranger for some reason. Oh, we didn't see Ranger do one. He did a 3:03. So Turtle, he's made a mistake. Oh, it looks like he come out in front of Joker's there. Joker's probably wasn't thankful for that. He probably was like, whoa. Joker's, went a little faster that last lap, a 3:01. Puts himself 3/10 behind Electric in 8th place. And 1.8 seconds ahead of Ranger. Ranger, he's been into the pits, he's had a little top up of fuel, and this is going to be their last run. A couple of these guys, if they make their way around. There's Mr. Psycho going in, getting some fuel, going for one more run. Uncle B, he's going for a second run now, and he's getting purples. Is he going to snatch pole away from Matt Psycho? This will be very interesting. He's 8/10 up. 8/10 up, and he's getting purples, so it's looking good. He's only got one more corner to go. Digital Blasphemy in the pits at the moment. I don't know for these guys if it would be worth it for another run. This might be his last run. Uncle B, as he goes towards the line, can he snatch pole? He does. 3/10 faster. 3/10 faster than Matt Psycho. And I'm very surprised they're driving around their whole outlap. I mean, a whole in lap. I thought they'd just press pause and go to pits. There you go, like that. But even so, at 3 minutes 23 seconds, it'd be very tight for Uncle B to get his way around again. He's going to have to push. He's going to have to do a push and a rush to get there. So, the grid so far looking like Uncle B Darren on pole. Matt Psycho in second place. Shiren in third. Very good for the Russian sensation. Skyjacker sitting in fourth. Daz in sixth. He's going to have to pit, or he's just going to go over the line. He's got a 2:44 as he comes up to the final corner. Again, I guess there's nothing in the rules. I didn't think to put in the rules that you're not allowed to quit out or just go back to pits. There's nothing wrong with that, especially on a track like that. 2:59 doesn't go any faster. And I imagine we'll see him disappear straight back into the pit. Shiren goes faster again. And he's gone a 10th behind Matt Psycho's time. It's very tight there. Matt Psycho going a bit slow at the moment, letting some of the fast guys through over the bridge. Digital Blasphemy making his way around for another run. Skyjacker has done his run. Oh, he's out wide though. Oh no, and I don't think he's going to be able to have another attempt at it. He might get to the... and Koi Carp's gone faster. And we'll go through again. Sorry, Uncle B Darren's on pole. Matt Psycho is in second. Shiren third. Skyjacker, no, that's it. He's sticking with that fourth. Daz in fifth. Digital Blasphemy, there's room for him to manoeuvre, but he's got to get around before that timer runs out. And he should be able to do it. Electric in seventh. Jokus in eighth. And he's only going to be able to do an outlap. Ninth for Koikar. I'm surprised he's not gone back to the pits. His fuel's not going to get him all the way back. Ranger in 10th, Turtle in 11th, and Rivixter never really came out of the pits, really. So it's all about Matt Psycho. Shiren's going to have to go back in the pits. So this one is really, it's Matt Psycho and Digital Blasphemy we've got to keep an eye out for. Digital Blasphemy still on his outlap. So Matt Psycho, can he snatch that pole away from UB? And we are watching attentively as he makes his way around tight left, going into another tight left. This is where we saw Skyjacker make his mistake. And he's 200ths up. He's got to find nearly 4/10 to secure that pole, but it's a long lap. Digital Blasphemy has started now, making his way around. And he's Digital Blasphemy could jump a couple of people here if he has a good lap. Oh, a 10th down for Matt Psycho. He's lost a bit of time to Uncle B, but it's not all totally out of the park yet. Still plenty of track to gain time on. So Digital Blasphemy, we're having a look. He's some half a second behind Daz. And Daz is 700ths behind Skyjacker. So there's two places up for grabs there from Digital Blasphemy. If he can keep it neat. He's coming up to a sector time now. And he is... ooh, he's 7/10 down on his own time. So that doesn't look like he's going to be able to jump the guys ahead of him. And Matt Psycho, what is he doing? I think we've missed that next sector. We'll have to wait until he gets around these corners. A very tight right-hander here. Heavy on those brakes. Down to second gear. Makes his way around. Just skims the barrier. He doesn't touch the barrier, but you've got to just get as close to the barrier as you dare. Oh, Electric's gone fourth fastest. So Electric, surprise attack there from Electric. He's gone fourth fastest. He's jumped a fair few there. Oh, and Matt Psycho is getting purples. Digital Blasphemy's just moved down to 7th. Oh, and there he's missed the track. He's missed the track. I imagine he's going to battle on with that. But it's going to be a tough call. He's going to lose a bit of time from that, I imagine. And Matt Psycho, he was getting purples. He's coming up to another sector. Can he get that pole from UB? He's purple again. Oh my word, UB will be sat in the pits looking at the monitor with a cold sweat upon his brow. Art Ranger going faster. Art Ranger going faster. Stays in 9th. And here we go. Matt Psycho coming around the final corner, heading towards the finish line. And can he grab pole position right at the dead? He does. Matt Psycho grabbing pole position by nearly 7/10. Cracking stuff. So Digital Blasphemy, we saw he was down. He was down at one of the sectors. He's down by a second on his own time. I don't think he's going to manage to go any faster. Sharen's crawling because he's run out of fuel. Electric doing an absolutely blinding job there at the end with a 3-minute .070. Jump in, Skyjacker, Daz, Digital Blasphemy. Jokus got 8th. Ranger's out there, but he's done. He's not going to go any faster. He's in 9th. Koi Carp in 10th. Turtle in 11th. So Digital Blasphemy still trying. He's crossed the line, and he has not gone any faster. So that will be the grid. And UB saying in the chats, well done, Psych. So Matt Psycho grabbing that all-important pole position here for the beginning of the 1 hour race. Uncle B in 2nd place. Sharen grabbing that 3rd on the grid in the 2nd row alongside Electric. Electric doing very well. Coming strong at the end of qualifying, getting himself ahead of Skyjacker and Daz. Skyjacker out there doing a few spins, and that's why we call him Spinjacker, because he's the best at donuts. Daz sitting in the grid, checking out his telemetry, looking at the printouts, seeing where he can gain a few tenths. Mama Syke saying, yes, well done, Matt. Digital Blasphemy, he went for it at the end there, pushing hard, but just couldn't grab an extra position. Jokus in 8th, a Ranger starts 9th, Koi Carp 10th, and I didn't see the other guys. So here we go then. 60 minutes around here, and fuel, as always in this championship, is imperative. Turtle in 11th, a Rivixter who didn't set a time in 12th. So there you can see most of the grid lined up, looking phenomenal in their little bugs, waiting to go battling for an hour here at St. Croix A. And there he goes, the light is green, and Matt Psycho making a great getaway. UB staying in 2nd spot. Sharen looking like he wants to gain on those 2 ahead of him. But UB has got ahead of Mr. Psycho, but he's out wide, and Matt Psycho's going to get that inside line and regain the lead of this race. So Matt Psycho back in the lead from UB in 2nd. Then we got Daz up into 3rd. He's making a move on Electric, but Electric's got the inside line in this corner. My word, why does it look like we're miles away from everyone? So there we go, Daz does make it stick around the outside, and Electric's trying to muscle his way through the inside. You've got to give Racing room, and he just about gives Racing room, but Electric getting that 3rd place back with Daz in 4th, Skyjacker in 5th, and Digital Blasphemy. So Sharen lost a whole handful of places there as Skyjacker and Digital Blasphemy do battle side by side around the streets of France. And Digital Blasphemy just gets ahead of Skyjacker, but don't forget this is a marathon, not a sprint. So Sharen in 7th, then Jokus in 8th, we've got Ranger in 9th, Turtle in 10th, Koi Carp in 11th, and Rivixter in 12th position. And Matt Psycho pulling away from UB at the moment, and Electric closing the gap to Uncle B. And Electric wants to get on with this race, on board with Electric as he chases down UB. And you can see he's getting a lovely slipstream there. He's pulled out of it. He's decided not to stay in the slipstream and conserve fuel. He's gone ahead. He's gone ahead of Uncle B. Uncle B, being wise with his fuel, says you can go. I'm going to use you as a petrol saver. So car 96 sitting just behind car 95 out there. as 95 slides around. Daz in fourth, not too far behind them. Then we've got the battling Digital Blasphemy and Skyjacker. Early doors though, you can hardly tell how this race is going to end up. Shiren in 7th, Jokus in 8th, Ranger in 9th. Then we have Koikart in 10th spot, and he's battling with Turtle at the moment. Turtle trying to have a look up the inside of Koi. But Koi's got it. He's got the inside, so he's definitely seen off Turtle there. And Rivixter is driving a little slower than those guys, 5 seconds behind. He's fuel saving early doors. Matt Psycho almost 1.9 seconds ahead of UB. UB's got back ahead of Electric. So UB on the move, and Daz is closing up, but Daz has gone wide and he's hit the barrier. Oh my word. Poor Daz. Daz has gone wide and hit the barrier, so he drops down the order whilst Electric and UB battles for that second place. Then Digital Blasphemy and Skyjacker moving up a spot. Digital Blasphemy in 4th, Skyjacker in 5th place. Shiren moves up to 6th, Ranger in 7th, Jokus in 8th place, Koikarp in 9th, Turtle 10th, Rivixter in 11th, and there goes Daz. But we saw him do that last week, but his fuel saving saved him. He got back into the pack and he ended up getting good positions from his race, so we'll see. But Matt Psycho at the moment, 2.5 seconds. He really is pulling away and saving fuel, because Electric has used a little bit more fuel than Matt Psycho. Uncle B, similar to Matt Psycho. Digital Blasphemy, he's at 3/4 of the way through his tank is Skyjacker. Shiren closing the gap between those two battling bugs ahead of him. And it's all just a little bit of a waiting game at the moment. Ranger up into 7th ahead of Jokus. Jokus very close behind Ranger. He'll be wanting to get some moves on the go soon against the Amigos Racing Team driver. And there is Koikarp. He's only 1.4 seconds behind Jokus. He's pulled away from Turtle at the moment. And then, oh no, we've got a yellow flag. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, that was, who was it? It was Ranger. Ranger, oh my word. So Ranger joining Rivixter and Daz further back. There goes Rivixter. And, you know, it's like the turtle and the hare. Rivixter up to 10th already. So Daz is nearly 4.5 seconds behind Ranger. Ranger gets going again. And he's 1.3 seconds behind the Rivs. And it's all very interesting stuff. Meanwhile, Matt Psycho lengthening that lead to nearly 3 seconds, keeping it steady Eddie. And we're only 5 minutes into this 60-minute race. And then we've got Electric and Uncle B battling it out. But the problem is, they should be working together, because they're burning up some fuel, racing each other. Digital Blasphemy, Skyjacker and Shiren all in a train together. And they're saving fuel a lot better than the two ahead of them. Digital Blasphemy, the championship leader so far. He's been very careful with his fuel and his tyres in these races, doing an absolutely corking job. Skyjacker looks like he's going to have to start defending from Shiren pretty soon. Then we've got Jokus in 7th, moving up a position after Ranger having his small off. Then Koikarp in 8th, Turtle in 9th, Rivixter in 10th, but Ranger has caught him back up again in 11th place. And the Ranger will be looking to get that position back as Daz closes in on those two as well. So we've got a lovely little three-way battle further down the field. Matt Psycho, meanwhile, he's pulled out nearly another second on those guys behind him. There is no stopping this man. He's crossed the line. And he's got 4.2 seconds in hand. Too easy for Matt Psycho. As UB and Electric battle it out between the two of them. Electric pulls up ahead, but he's run out of track. He's run out of track. And he's lost it. He's lost the car. He's lost the car. So Skyjacker managed to get... No, don't slow down, Digi. He span in front of you. I don't think it's your fault. But Digital Blasphemy, I think he's in two minds of whether or not to slow down for Electric, but Electric had already lost the car. There was nothing he could have done about that. So Skyjacker then goes ahead up to 3rd with Shiren in 4th. And Digital Blasphemy, I think he thought about lifting and waiting for Electric, but Electric spun before Digital Blasphemy was even on the scene. So Joker's there in 6th place, with Koikart now moving up into 7th, Turtle in 8th. Electric's got going again in 9th place, just behind Turtle. Ranger has got himself ahead of Rivixter, as has Daz. And Rivixter is sitting there. But Rivixter saving that fuel. Daz's fuel, similar, and so's Rangers. So these guys being savvy with their fuel back here. And Matt Psycho, unbelievable. He has the speed, and he manages to save that fuel as well. He reminds me of a young Racer Brown. So Uncle B keeping hold of that 2nd spot with his little battle with Electric. He comes out on top, but he has got Skyjacker not too far behind, and he's used a little bit more fuel up than Skyjacker. Shiren, he's got a little bit more fuel than Skyjacker on board, only an incy-wincy bit though, nothing really worth mentioning. Digital Blasphemy has caught up with Shiren again, closing that gap to the Russian. 5 seconds back, we've got Jokus in 6th spot. He could pick up a good handful of points here if he keeps it on the track and steady, as can Koikarp in 7th place. Doing very well with their fuels. Electric there in 8th. He's starting to push now. He's starting to get raggedy. He's had that accident, and now he's starting to push that Beetle, which means he's sideways again. Is Electric, so he's really pushing hard. Turtle being wise with his fuel in 9th. Then Daz has got himself ahead of Ranger as well as Rivixter, so Daz on a comeback there, with Ranger in 11th, and Rivixter is in 12th place. But Rivixter starting to put the lap times in now. He's saved his fuel, and he's thinking it's time to push on. But Matt Psycho, unbelievable pace he's got in that Beetle. And the question is how long can they go until their first pit stops? We're nearly 9 minutes into the race. We've been seeing that those that are really tidy and look after their fuel are managing to get about 15 minutes out of the fuel tank and do a 3-stop. But they're not going to manage, then they might have to take an extra stop here just because of the length of the track, because they don't want to be halfway around the track when that fuel runs out. So, yes. It's going to be a tight call for when. I mean, they're using about a quarter of a tank of fuel on each lap there, is Matt Psycho. So possibly 4 laps, but it's going to be a tight 4 laps before they come into pit. He's on his 4th lap now. Well, no, I'd say a lie. I'd say a quarter of a tank a lap, but he's just under half. Uncle B, he's getting less than a quarter on his tank. Skyjacker closing in on him. He's just over a quarter of a tank. Shiren doing very well, but they've dropped back from Skyjacker. It looks like Skyjacker has decided to push on a little bit. And here comes Digital Blasphemy on Shiren. He's making the move, but Shiren are protecting that inside line, making Digital Blasphemy a work for it. The Russian sensation, I believe we had these two racing beautifully on Friday evening with the Megans and the Super Formulas. And Digital Blasphemy makes his way through. Shiren goes, you can. I'm going to get a tow from you, my friend, and save some fuel behind you. Koikarp up to 6th. He's got himself ahead of Jokus. So Koikarp on the move now. The battle between Koikarp and Jokus further down the field are looking very hot. Then we've got Electric, some 3.4 seconds behind Jokus and 3.3 seconds ahead of Turtle. Turtle's only 1.3 seconds ahead of Daz. Daz trying to close in on that M&M and Beetle to gain up some positions. Ranger, he's looking steady there, isn't he? I don't know if he slowed right down because of the fuel, or it just is the shot. He's up to 6th gear, so I think it was just the shot that we were getting. And Rivixter there in 12th. So Matt Psycho crossing the bridge. Still on lap 4. We don't know when they're... Oh, definitely UB is going to have to pit at the end of this lap. And I imagine Skyjacker will probably follow him in. Who knows? Interesting stuff. Matt Psycho, he's still got quite a bit of fuel. He's got a quarter of a tank of fuel on there. He might want to go for another lap. He could push it for another lap, possibly. But UB, he's definitely going to have to pit at the end of this. Let's hope he doesn't miss that pit lane. As Skyjacker closing in on him. Skyjacker looking to try and get that second spot. He's gone past, and Skyjacker up into second place. Whoa, and UB's lost the back end. UB's lost the back end. Can he keep it going? He can. And it's right in front of the pit lane, so it's not too much of a loss. Skyjacker does go into the pits. Digital Blasphemy and Shiren both stay out. No. Yes, Digital Blasphemy, sorry, does stay out. And does Shiren. So far it's just Skyjacker and UB coming into the pit stops. Koi Carp's decided to come in as well, as has Jokus. And Electric also coming in. Daz staying out. See, this is what we saw him do at the last round, and he did it magnificently. So Daz staying out there. Daz staying out for another lap, and Turtle following him. Turtle's quite low on fuel though. I hope he's got enough to get around this lap. As Matt Psycho makes his way around. And this is a very interesting indeed now, with these guys making that stop after lap 4. And we're only 13 minutes into the race, so it looks like they're going to have to do possibly 4 stops. Whereas the other guys going out for another lap, that's a 3-stop strategy, I'd say. And Skyjacker back out. He's topped right up, new tyres, and it's a 30-second pit stop. So can he gain that 30 seconds on those guys ahead of him? He's 36 seconds behind Matt Psycho. So, it's interesting. Uncle B back out of the pit lane as well. 3.5 seconds behind Skyjacker. 10 seconds ahead of Koi. Koi and Electric seems to have lost the most in that pit stop. Yeah, 3:37 for Electric. Koi doing a 3:33. So Koi's pit stop was a lot quicker. I'm guessing Electric had less fuel on board than Jokus and Koi. And there, Matt Psycho's fuel is starting to flash. He's just over halfway around the track. But he'll be a little nervous with that fuel, I imagine. Digital, 10 seconds behind him. His fuel's not flashing yet. So he's looked after that fuel a little better. Shiren in third. There is Daz in 4th place, with Skyjacker catching up Turtle. Turtle having to really ease off that throttle now, because he's probably concerned he's not going to get all the way around. And he's got UB gunning for him as well, not too far behind. So Turtle dropping down to 6th, could possibly be 7th by the end of the bridge if he's really fuel conserving. Looks like he might need to, because that fuel is looking very tight for the Dutch driver at the moment. UB not quite doing the move on the bridge like I thought he was going to, but he's not going to be too long. Matt Psycho into the pits. We assume he's going to get back out though before Skyjacker makes his way around. These are all going to pit. There goes Digital Blasphemy. Shiren also going in. Daz, he's not quite there yet, but he'll be pitting also. And can Skyjacker get around? Like I said, a pit stop's around about 30 seconds. And he was 36 seconds behind Matt Psycho. He might be able to jump Shiren and Digital Blasphemy. Interesting stuff. None of them. Oh, Matt Psycho is moving. So Matt Psycho back out again. No fret, no worries for Matt Psycho. He's only 6 seconds ahead of Skyjacker though. And Skyjacker and Uncle B look like they've jumped Digital Blasphemy, but I believe Skyjacker and UB are going to have to make an extra pit stop in this race. Digital Blasphemy playing dare with the grass here at St. Croix for round 3 of the VDUB Bug Enduro Cup. And Shiren there coming out in 5th place. Koi Carp in a fine 6th at the moment. 7 seconds adrift of Shiren, and 7 seconds ahead of Electric. Daz making his way through. He's just pitted, and he's managed to get ahead of Jokus in his pit stops. Ranger and Turtle having a bit of a battle. Turtle must have just been into the pits, come out around about where Ranger is, and they're battling it out. Oh, Ranger looks like he's gentlemanly letting Turtle through, so possibly he thought there was a little knock there that shouldn't have been there. And, Rivixter's gone for the medium tyres. It's the first sight of the medium tyres we've seen. Tyres haven't usually been an issue in these races. But Rivixter putting on those medium tyres and giving them a go. Why not? Maybe he's not read the rules properly. You don't have to use the medium tyres. They're just there, just in case. And they probably should be changed. The tyre rules should probably be super softs and softs, because the softs don't wear out, and I imagine the super softs probably would. But Matt Psycho, so far, 6.3 seconds, and it's just a slam dunk for Matt Psycho out there at the moment. Doesn't look like anyone's giving him a run for his money today. Skyjacker in a strong second place, 2 seconds ahead of UB, but UB burning through the fuel a little quicker than Skyjacker is. Digital Blasphemy, he's only 3.7 seconds behind those guys. And only a second ahead of Shiren. UB and Shiren, even Stevens, we saw on Friday night, them two racing in the Megans and the Super Formulas. But Digital Blasphemy playing it clever. He just wants to poke. Well, he's only a point ahead of Matt Psycho, so he might lose the championship lead here if Matt Psycho gets that win. And Matt Psycho's got the fastest lap and the pole position so far, so he'll get extra points for those. And Matt Psycho might just romp this one in the points positions. But Skyjacker doing a cracking job for second place. Not seen him on track this week. He's been quite busy, but he seems revitalised. He was off in that Swedish resort, getting him his zen back, ready to battle. And he's come back brighter, bigger and better. And we are nearly 19 minutes into this 60-minute race, which is already starting to take shape. Uncle B dropping back from Skyjacker. He probably realises they're virtually the same on fuel. Skyjacker's got a little bit more fuel than UB. And DB, Digital Blasphemy, DB for me, is catching him up. But Shiren is keeping DB for me very honest indeed, on board with the Russian sensation. Behind Digital Blasphemy, as you can see, he's braking. They're not using the gears to brake. He's not letting the car scream or over rev as he changes gears, keeping those gear changes quite low. Holding Digital Blasphemy at about a second distance as they try and race and save fuel all at the same time. It's a very, very difficult skill to master at the moment. Matt Psycho making it look rather easy out there. Doing a 3-minute .0 is the fastest lap. Saw that they could do like definitely 250, late 258s, early 59s in qualifying. Shiren seeing Digital Blasphemy. Oh, and they look like they're catching Uncle B up. So Uncle B must be doing some heavy fuel saving right now. He's dropped right back from Skyjacker as he tries to save that fuel. Digital Blasphemy closing the gap, 1.5 seconds to UB. Shiren closing the gap to Digital Blasphemy. Koikar 13.3 seconds behind Shiren, but he's 5 seconds ahead of Electric, and Daz is closing the gap to Electric. And this is what we saw Daz do brilliantly last week. He's another one. He's very good at going fast and saving fuel. My word, he has these first lap incidences. So if he can get around that first lap without having an issue, we'll see a very strong race from Daz in this season, I am pretty sure. But he's closing up on Electric right now. Oh, Electric making a small mistake in that corner. We saw him a little bit sideways, and Daz is right upon him. Daz going around the long way, but he can't make it stick, so he's going to have to tuck in behind Electric. and wait for another opportunity. But Daz looking very strong at the moment against Electric for 7th and 8th. And Electric just trying to stay ahead of Daz, but Electric pitted before him. He's down to a quarter of a tank of fuel. Is he going to go around again? I imagine he's going to try and get another lap in. Is Electric, but Daz is on him. He's not quite half a tank of fuel yet. He's getting the slipstream. He's getting that inside line to the first corner, and Daz is going to outbrake Electric into the first corner. But oh no, he's outbraked himself, and Electric's managed to just tuck underneath him. But Daz coming back again. What a little battle we've got going on here between Electric and Daz. Daz having another look up the inside of Electric. And Electric at the moment having to defend like a god. Whilst Daz throws everything he's got at him. On board with Daz as we see him trying to find a way past Electric. Electric got less fuel on board than Daz. And we'll have to pit at the end of this lap, but would Daz be aware of that? Daz probably will be best just to sit behind Electric and use him to save fuel. Use the slipstream of Electric, sorry. And no, Electric's out wide, and Daz is through. Awesome stuff from Daz. Stays on the track and gets himself ahead of Electric. Can Electric get going before Jokers catches him up? Jokers is virtually there, near the scene of the crime. And Electric does get going, but Jokers now only 2.7 seconds behind him. Let's have a look elsewhere before them two catch each other up. And Matt Psycho's just nudged that fastest lap under the 3 minutes to a 59.409. He's showing off now, saving that fuel and going fast. Skyjacker in second place, 10 seconds behind him. Skyjacker though, he's going to have to pit before and Matt Psycho. There is UB. His fuel is flashing. He's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. Whereas Digital Blasphemy and Shiren are going to stay out for another lap. Then next down on the track is Koikarp, who's going to have to pit at the end of this lap also. So, UB not managing to get that fuel to save, but you can see him screaming the car out. He doesn't short shift like the other guys are doing. He lets it go all the way up to the blue, and you just can't. You got to change before it starts flashing blue. So UB, he's only 2 seconds behind Skyjacker though. And don't forget to pit this time, UB. Go into the pits. He is. Awesome stuff. So UB pits, Skyjacker doesn't. We saw Skyjacker pitted last time at the same time as UB, but he decides to stay out and make another rotation, which will put him similar lap time, similar pit strategies as Shiren and Digital Blasphemy. Koikarp, he's going in also. Daz is going to manage to stay out. So Daz might gain another position there against Koikarp or Uncle B at the end of the race. We're at 25 minutes and 30 seconds into this race. Whilst they start doing their second stops, I think UB is back out again. He's been in, he's topped up, he's back on track. As Electric goes in, Koikarp's already in, Jokers comes in, Turtle has gone through, so another one who's good at fuel saving, and Koikarp's come out of the pits around about the same time as Turtle, but Turtle stays out there, but he's gone wide. Can he keep it in the lines? And he does, but Koikarp managing to come through on his insides and get ahead of the Turtle in a Beetle. Ranger there in 7th, he's just ahead of those guys, and we saw he had a big off, and he's got back into the fray of it all in this battle. Electric down to 11. Oh, Jokers has gone for the medium tyres, so maybe they are struggling with those tyres at the moment. Electric still on those softs, catching up with Jokers, but Jokers is going to struggle with the medium tyres. Not much grip on those mediums. And there is a Rivixter. He's 25 seconds behind Electric. The Jocus there does drop behind Electric. Maybe the medium tyres helps with fuel conservation. Who knows? Matt Psycho, though, absolutely blasting it out there. He's 12.7 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Ooh, Skyjacker giving it some sideways action into the chicane. Digital Blasphemy 2.5 seconds behind Sky, and I can see we're going to have a bit of a fruity fight for the podium at the end between Skyjacker, Digital Blasphemy and Shiren. These guys, they're going to, on the final pit stop, they're just going to unleash the full power of those Beetles. Daz making his way around. He's 23 seconds shy of Shiren, and he's 6.2 seconds ahead of Uncle B. And Koikarp's caught up a Ranger and got past Ranger. So Ranger in some fuel conserve at the moment. And Koi moving up into 7th spot on his outlap. Skyjacker's gone in and Matt Psycho didn't. So Matt Psycho's going around again, my word. And so are Digital Blasphemy and Shiren, sorry. And that's interesting. Digital Blasphemy under the quarter of a tank, as is Matt Psycho. And Shiren, he's got a little bit more fuel than Digital Blasphemy. They've made their way around. Daz manages to get another lap out and gets ahead of Skyjacker in the pits. Wowzers. Wowzers indeed. Some interesting strategies on the go here. And Skyjacker gets out ahead of Uncle B. Uncle B, though, he can see the black monster bug just ahead of him. And that will be his target for this race, I imagine. And Daz, look at him. Just imagine if he didn't have that off in the first lap, he would be up there with Digital Blasphemy and Shiren. I am almost certain of that. So Daz staying out for another lap, has Digital Blasphemy and Shiren going for that 3-stop strategy. And Matt Psycho doing an awesome job keeping that fuel pleasant and getting the fast lap times as well. Digital Blasphemy, he's pulled away from Shiren a little bit. Shiren kicking up a bit of dust. Wow, playing Dan Dare around the outside of that corner. Interesting stuff from Shiren. Daz there in 4th place, just ahead of Skyjacker, who's just ahead of Uncle B. And Koikarp, he's pulled well away. What happened? Ranger must have had a... Oh, he went in. Ranger's pitted, come out just ahead of Turtle, so a little battle going on there between Turtle and Ranger. Interesting stuff. The Gulf livery versus the M&Ms. And Rivixter is in for his 2nd stop. Imagine to get rid of those medium tyres, but he's doing well with fuel. So Matt Psycho making his way around. Digital Blasphemy, 1.6 seconds, but wow, he's on fumes at the moment, as is Shiren. Daz doing a lot better with his fuel on this lap, but Skyjacker's catching him up, hand over fist. And he might go past the Liquor Molly liveried Beetle before the pits, as Daz's fuel just starts flashing. And Digital Blasphemy, can he get to the pits? Just about, I imagine, but it's going to be tight stuff for him. He's going to be on absolutely zero. Ooh, a little knock on the barrier there for Digital Blasphemy. Matt Psycho's in to the pits for his 2nd stop. And we are over the halfway mark of the race, so everything's on plan for a 3-stop strategy from Matt Psycho. Here comes Digital Blasphemy. He does make it. What does it say? 1%. And 4% for Shiren of fuel. Daz also, he's still ahead of Skyjacker. And Skyjacker will be wanting to get past Daz, as he's got Uncle B catching him up rather promptly behind him as they come around that final corner. Daz will peel off into the pits. There he goes, he even indicates, that's flash. Matt Psycho is back out of the pits, but wow, what's the time difference now? 13 seconds between himself and Skyjacker. He's gained another second in that stint on Skyjacker. I think he came in around about 12 seconds. Oh no, it's about 12 seconds. He's not lost much time. to Skyjacker. Uncle B 1.2 seconds behind Sky, but a quarter of a tank less of fuel. Digital Blasphemy back out on track, very closely followed by Shiren. It's going to be a tough call between these two. Koikarp up into 6th as Daz comes out onto the track, but Koikarp already on half a tank of fuel, so Daz will feel comfortable. He's going to get ahead of Koi through strategies. Electric in 8th, Jokus in 9th. Then we have Turtle and Ranger still battling it out down here. Beautiful stuff from these two. There's only half a second between them. And Turtle just ahead, but he's on half a tank, where Ranger is on full tanks. Rivixter did go for the soft tyres, back out again. And like I said, Rivixter not being able to get into the first 2 rounds, so he's still got to get used to the Beetle. And here we go, a Ranger looks like he's trying to make a move on Turtle around the outside, and it's going to be a tough battle there between Ranger and Turtle. And oh my word, these two are pushing hard at the moment in their bugs as they duke it out for that 10th and 11th position. Ranger looking for the inside line now on Turtle as they come around. And no, Turtle still stays just ahead, and there's a car not far up ahead of them. So they're catching someone up. I don't know. Is that Jokus? Yeah, Jokus is only 4. Turtle having a bit of an off. And Ranger. He's not lifting, so he obviously doesn't believe it was his issue. So Turtle losing a bit of time to Ranger. Playing with the outside of the corner. And Ranger gets along and on his way. Matt Psycho, meanwhile, still on his outlap, buzzing around 13.5 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker, though, feeling the pressure from Uncle B. Uncle B closing that gap, but Uncle B, he's got a quarter of a fuel tank left, with Skyjacker just somewhere between half a tank and 3/4. Digital Blasphemy on 3/4 of a tank, still battling it out with Shiren. Let's get on board with Shiren as we look at the back of DB4Me. His car. Digital Blasphemy just skimming that wall, just getting as close as he possibly dare to the wall in the final corner. As they head up, breaking into that first right hand. Shiren's tyres screaming for mercy as they go through. Shiren looking at the back of Digi's car as they head up to the left-hander. Quite tight, but still 4th gear for Shiren. It's a double apex one, it seems. And it looks like Shiren getting purples in these early sectors. Is he going for the fastest lap? Possibly. There is a point to grab there. As he chases Digital Blasphemy around, he's closed it to 4/10. And just ahead of them, they can see Uncle B and Skyjacker. It looks like Skyjacker staying ahead of Uncle B at the moment. Round the left-hander here at St. Croix for round 3 of the VDUB Bug Enduro Cup. Shiren really out wide. Shiren's losing a whole heap of time on Digital Blasphemy there. He will be absolutely fuming. He's done it again. Oh my lord. Poor old Shiren. I don't know what's going on in the car. His tyres look tidy, but he's lost a whole heap of time on Digi. Digital Blasphemy, he'll be absolutely grinning in his car as he closes up on Uncle B. Uncle B 2.7 seconds ahead of those guys, and I imagine Uncle B is going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Skyjacker on half a tank of fuel will carry on. Matt Psycho, he's so good. He's just so good. He's got loads of fuel on board. We've got 23.5 minutes left of racing here. Matt Psycho, one more stop to go. Skyjacker imagine he's going to eke that out to try and make only one stop. Digital Blasphemy, Uncle B, he's going to have to come in. So that means it's going to be a tight last stint for him. He might have to do a splash and dash right near the end of the race. And that's what Digital Blasphemy will be hoping for. But I imagine Digital Blasphemy will be hoping to get a jump on Skyjacker as well. He's got a little bit more fuel than Skyjacker, but not much, just an incy-wincy bit. And poor Shiren. This is a tough lap for Shiren. But he seems to have saved a bit more fuel than Digital Blasphemy, so maybe he might be able to gain it back. He's hitting it again, wide. So Shiren, I don't know. He's gone a bit raggedy. Halfway through this race, there goes Uncle B into the pits. As a Digital Blasphemy carries on, Shiren also will carry on. And Daz, I am assuming, will carry on as well. Koikarp's caught up Daz, no end. What's Daz's time? A 3:01. But Koikarp, he's going to pit at the end of this lap as well. He's on a similar strategy to Uncle B. And I imagine he's just going to peel off into the pits there. He's way ahead of Electric, and Electric's going to have to pit at the end of this lap as well. He's coming around that final corner to come into the pits. Jokus also coming into the pits. And a Ranger might be able to stay, so he's going to definitely be able to stay out there for a couple more laps. Turtle, I think he might have to pit at the end of this lap. And Rivixter out there, he's just done his fastest with a 3:04.8. He's doing some beautiful fuel saving, but losing the car a little bit there in that corner. And Jokus, I imagine, is going to get rid of those medium tyres. Like I said, I'm not sure why they've been putting the mediums on. It's not in the rules. They're an option, but they don't have to use them. So a Ranger goes through, hanging his car right out there. Koikarp back out of the pits, only 3.3 seconds ahead of Ranger. And, I'm not sure. With this strategy, I think Koi will have to make another stop before the end of the race. Ranger probably only making one stop before the end of the race. He's on a similar strategy to the leaders, Matt Psycho, who I imagine he's got another 5 minutes or so before he needs to make his final stop. Skyjacker, he's done a great job because he was on that early stop strategy, as UB was, but he's eked that car out. Lovely. Uncle B, he's under fire from Daz. Daz with half a tank. He's also on the same strategy as Matt Psycho. And like I said, I'm not sure. Uncle B might have to pit again in this race. And he's got Daz right on his tail. So interesting stuff there. Shiren, he's dropped back 8 seconds from Digital Blasphemy. From those small offs, you can see he's at a 3:02 and a 3:07. With Digital Blasphemy staying in the 3:02, Skyjacker 3:01s, and Matt Psycho somehow getting those early 3 minutes and 2:59s, but saving the same amount of fuel. So Matt Psycho is absolutely bossing this race at the moment. And Uncle B still under threat from Daz. If we get on board with the Daz, trying to close that gap on Uncle B. Uncle B will be staying out a little bit longer, but I do think, unless Uncle B turns that car right down, he will have to make another stop before the end of the race. Which will be good for Daz. Daz has still got a couple of laps left in that car. And it's a tight call between these two. Uncle B staying ahead of Daz, but it looks like Daz has got the speed in the slipstream. Up the start straight, Daz looking up the inside of UB. UB might be best to let him go through, just to try and use him for a slipstream. Oh, but UB, no, he doesn't want to give up the position, so he stays up ahead of Daz. In the chat, Rido saying, hi guys, and he says, hi Thingy. Hi Rido, how's it all going, my old chestnut? And Uncle B staying ahead of Daz at the moment, doing an absolute corking job. But Daz on a better strategy, I fear. Koi Carp in 7th place. He's 34 seconds behind that battle. 3.8 seconds ahead of Ranger. And Ranger will be pitting before Koi. Electric, he's on 3/4 of a tank. He's only 10 seconds behind Ranger. So that's an interesting battle between Koi, Ranger, Electric. Jokus there on 3/4. He's gone for mediums again. So yeah, Jokus is really struggling with some sort of tyre wear around here. Well, he must have kept the same mediums on, it looks like, because he's burnt through, you know, the tips of them already, and he's only just done the outlap. Ooh, out wide for Jokus. He's only 4 seconds ahead of Turtle. And Turtle there, half a tank of fuel from Turtle. When did he pit? On lap 12, so yeah. And Rivixter still learning the Beetle. Whilst Matt Psycho, 18.2 second lead. And Rido in the chat saying, all good, you? I'm all right, but I'm living in the house of the damned at the moment. First of all, my youngest son tested positive for COVID. Then the wife tested positive for COVID. And yesterday, my eldest son tested positive for COVID. But I'm still negative. So I tested the same time as Lennon. And yeah, I don't know how I'm doing it. I don't know if I've just got an awesome immune system. Or if COVID doesn't like me. Or if I'm just doing a very good job of avoiding the rest of my family. It's not a big house, so I don't know how. And there we go, Matt Psycho crossing the line to start lap 15. He's got just under a quarter of a lap of fuel, so he'll be pitting at the end of this lap. Skyjacker's going to have to pit. He can't go as long as Matt Psycho. And the question is, can he make that fuel last all the way to the end? Digital Blasphemy goes through and up into 2nd place for another lap. Shiren probably will also go through. He does. And wow, for Skyjacker, it's a tough call if he's going to make that tank last for the rest of this race. Uncle B and Daz still battling away out there. Uncle B ahead, half a tank of fuel on Daz. Daz has got another lap in his car and stays out. He's going for another move on UB. UB staying there on the outside. Daz has got the inside line. Skyjacker's out of the pits just in front of him. And Daz is through. Daz is got up into 5th place. But he will be pitting at the end of this lap. Uncle B on half a tank of fuel. He's going to have to pit in a couple of lap times himself. Skyjacker, the question is, can he get to the end? 15 and a half minutes left of racing. He possibly can, but he's going to have to do some major fuel saving. And Uncle B's got back ahead of Daz. Uncle B did not like being overtaken by Daz. He's made the move to get back ahead of Daz. And Daz sitting looking at the back of the Pink Pig. My word, they're battling it out. Mama Sykes saying, wish them all better. You stay well, thingy. Yeah, thank you. And stay away from the plague. Ugh. Me and my wife are double jabbed, so we're all right. She's not too ill. The youngest, 11-year-old Zach, he's not even ill. He was the first one to get it, and he hasn't even had a single symptom yet. It's just, you have to test him for school with that lateral flow test. And it came up positive, so he went for a PRC test, and he was positive. So, yeah. And Daz and Uncle B having an absolute humdinger out there. And the wife, she's not feeling 100%. She's got like a cold. It feels like a cold, she says. Just a bad cold. So Daz going for it again against Uncle B. And he's up, but he's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. He doesn't want to burn too much fuel racing Uncle B. That's why I thought he'd just sit behind him and try and conserve fuel. But the racer in Daz has come out. He can't help himself. He's quite a way away from the pit stops, from the start straight line. There is Skyjacker just 1.3 seconds ahead of him on a full tank of fuel. Shiren, Digital Blasphemy and Matt Psycho all coming in for their final pit stop now. There goes Matt Psycho. He's got a lovely big distance ahead. So Skyjacker will go back ahead of Digital Blasphemy and Shiren, one would assume. And if Skyjacker doesn't have to pit again, that means he's got himself net second. But we'll see. There's Uncle B and Daz. They just can't help themselves. They're battling away. Daz has got to look after that fuel tank before he gets to the pits, or he's going to run out of fuel. And I think he's sussed that. I think he's just backed off a little bit now. So there they are. Digital Blasphemy's into the pits as well. Shiren joins them. But Matt Psycho already on the move, already back out. And that's it for him. That's his final pit stop. We've got 13 minutes left of racing. And he's holding on to that fastest lap. He's got the pole. He could get maximum points here today. Skyjacker coming along. And there goes Daz peeling off into the pits in the background. So he did make it to the pits. That's super. And Skyjacker then goes back up into second place. And the Digital Blasphemy comes out behind Uncle B. But Uncle B, I think, is going to have to pit on the next lap. Skyjacker, oh, it's so tight. I don't know. He might be able to get that fuel to last until the end. That means Digital Blasphemy is going to have to go forth and overtake Skyjacker. Shiren dropping back from those guys. We saw him have 2 little offs. And he's lost a bit of time on Digital Blasphemy. Daz back out of the pits ahead of Koi. It's there. Koi is coming up the pit lane now. And Daz has done it through strategy. Koi Carp. Oh, I don't know if Koi Carp, he's going to have to pit again before the end of the race. So Daz, he's on his final, that's it. It's his final stint for Daz. But I think Koi Carp's not going to get that fuel to last all the way. He's 9 seconds ahead of Electric. Electric's going to have to pit again, as is Joker's. Turtle is going to have to pit at the end of this lap. He's just coming around the final corner, so Ranger will get ahead of him. Ranger's got good fuel on there, that battle. And Joker's looks like he went in as well. He did. Turtle and Joker's both going in. Ranger goes up ahead, and he's got good fuel on board. He's similar to Skyjacker, really. Can he make it to the end on that fuel? And Koi Carp and Electric are both going to have to pit, so Ranger might gain a position, the 2 positions ahead of him. Matt Psycho, though, 20-second lead virtually. With a full tank of fuel, he's laughing all the way to the points bank. All the way to the championship lead, I believe. And Skyjacker there in second place. He's got Uncle B, but Uncle B's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. And he's got to be careful he doesn't burn through too much fuel. Digital Blasphemy only 2.7 seconds behind Uncle B. And this is very, very tight indeed. Shiren 7.6 seconds behind Digi. Just lost that little bit of time. That 3:07 lap really, really hurt him. That's where he lost the time. And he just can't seem to gain it back on Digital. And the question is, can Skyjacker get that fuel all the way to the end? Will he come in? Will he come in for a quick splash and dash to see off Uncle B? Uncle B going for the move on. Oh, there. I think Skyjacker's already starting to ease off. Because Uncle B all up in his busyness as they come up to the final straight before the start-finish line. One more corner to go and Uncle B will peel off into the pits. He's trying to go around the outside of Skyjacker, and Skyjacker lets him. Says, yeah, I'm saving fuel. I can sit behind you and save a bit of fuel, my friend. And there goes Uncle B peeling off into the pits for his final stop. And Skyjacker then in second place, only 1.7 seconds ahead of a Digital Blasphemy. And the big question is, can Skyjacker stay ahead of Digital Blasphemy and make that fuel last all the way to the end? We've got 9.5 minutes left of racing to go. Shiren then up into 4th place. And what's Daz going to do? Daz, he's got plenty of fuel to the end. Can he get himself ahead of Uncle B? I don't think he can. He might do. It's going to be tight. Daz might gain a position on Uncle B through strategy. Great stuff for Daz. Another great race from the back of the pack. And Daz goes up into 5th place. But Uncle B very close. We see these two battling just before the pit stops. And there they go. Daz in 5th, Uncle B in 6th. Koi Carp's come in. Electric will have to come in. Ranger, it's so tight. I think Ranger might have to come in just to give it a little top up. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Joker's, he's been in. And he'll be hoping to gain a big chunk of time on Electric and Koi Carp. He's gone back onto those soft tyres. Turtle in 11th. He's some 13 seconds behind Joker's though. And Ranger does go ahead of him. He's on the start straight. Not ahead of Koi. Koi's back out ahead of Ranger. 5.6 seconds between Ranger and Coy. One small mistake for Coy. One giant leap for Ranger. But Matt Psycho, really hats off to the man with 8 minutes left of racing, leading this race by 25 seconds, nearly 26 seconds. Skyjacker still maintaining. He's still, oh, where's Digital Blasphemy? Digital Blasphemy must have made a mistake. Oh my word, he's behind Shiren. He was only seconds, mere seconds behind Skyjacker, and somehow, some reason, he's behind Shiren. Shiren was hoping that Digital Blasphemy would make a mistake to gain that 7 seconds back, and it looks like he's been granted his wish, because Digital Blasphemy is now in 4th place behind Shiren, and Skyjacker taking a big sigh of relief there, because he was never going to be able to fuel save and stay ahead of Digital Blasphemy in that position. But now he's got himself 6.5 seconds gap back to Shiren, where he doesn't have to push his car too much, and he isn't that much lower on fuel than them two. So it's Skyjacker may still finish in 2nd place. I really didn't think he was going to get that position, but it's looking very good for Skyjacker. Digital Blasphemy, what the heck happened for Digi? 15 seconds down on his fastest time there. He lost a big heck of bunch of time, unbeknownst to us. Daz then 14 seconds behind him. He's pulling away from Uncle B, but not much. 0.6 of a second ahead, and these two are going to battle royale all the way to the end of this race. Koikarp still 5.4 seconds ahead of Ranger. 12 seconds Ranger is ahead of Electric. Electric's got a good chunk of time on Jokus, and Turtle is 13 seconds behind Jokus. And Rivikster is in 12th place. My gosh, Skyjacker's out wide though. He's got to be careful himself. 4 seconds. Shiren's closing that gap. Shiren closing the gap on Skyjacker. 3.5 seconds. We've got just under 6 minutes remaining in this race. It's almost even Stevens with fuel between Skyjacker and Shiren. Shiren doing a 3:04 his last time around. Skyjacker doing a 3:04.2. You can turn that engine back up again, Skyjacker. You can start putting the laps in, because Shiren's closing up and he's on the same fuel as you. 5.5 minutes left of racing. Poor Digital Blasphemy. There you go, a 3:16. He must have lost it big time in his Beetle. Daz then, he's only 9/10 ahead of Uncle B. Uncle B trying to close the gap on Daz, and Daz again, what a super race from him. From right to the very back, we saw he was some 7 seconds behind the rest of the pack, and he's pulled it back. Man alive, if he can survive a first lap, he's going to be dangerous. He's definitely got a podium written on him in these VDUBs. The way he saves his fuel is superb. And so Matt Psycho, 30-second lead with just under 5 minutes left of racing. There is Skyjacker. It's down to 2 seconds between him and Shiren. Shiren really pelting in those lap times, and Skyjacker still being quite wary with his lap times. He doesn't want to go pushing it, but remember, he had a lot less fuel than Shiren and Digital Blasphemy. And Digital Blasphemy, poor Digital Blasphemy. But here we go. Watch Daz. Wow, it's tough which to call. Watch Skyjacker and Shiren, or Daz and UBD. Trying to close the gap on Daz at the moment. Skyjacker trying to stay ahead of Shiren. It's down to 1.2 seconds. Who would have thunk it? Shiren looked like he was out of this race, and now he's battling for 2nd place. We saw him have his couple of offs, lose 7 seconds on Digital Blasphemy, drop right back, and right near, with just under 4 minutes left of racing, he's come back with a bang, and he's battling 2nd place. My gosh. And he's there, he's in the slipstream. Shiren, he's going to be making a move on Skyjacker. He's making the move on Skyjacker. Oh my goosh. And there he goes. The Russian sensation up into second place, but Skyjacker, he's going to sit in his slip, I believe. He's going to sit in the toe, save a bit of fuel for a bit of the lap and come back out. The Russian sensation possibly, he's up the inside of him. And no, we're racing for reals now. This is it. They've got this lap and possibly the next lap to go, and then it's the end of the race. And Digital Blasphemy, he's going for fastest lap now. Trying to get that fastest lap away from Matt Psycho. That's an extra point for Digital Blasphemy in his championship. But Matt Psycho's got plenty of fuel on board to possibly go for it as well. Skyjacker's still ahead of Shiren. Shiren trying to come back at Skyjacker. Oh my God. This is unbelievable stuff. The Russian sensation versus the Spinjacker. And Skyjacker at the moment in second, Shiren in third, Daz and UB still holding station there, 5/10 between the two of them. It's a tight battle between the two of them. Daz doing a 3-minute .517 last time around. UB doing a 3-minute .1, so UB is a little bit faster than Daz, and it's tough to call. But at the moment, Skyjacker having to defend that second place, trying to break the slip. He's going from one side of the track to the other, trying to break the slipstream from Shiren. He doesn't want Shiren getting that slipstream off him because he knows he's toast. Oh my gosh. And Matt Psycho making his way around that long right-hand corner. And I think they're going to have to do another lap after this one. So Skyjacker is going to have to put up with this pressure for another lap as they make their way across the bridge. And again, he's under threat from the slipstream. Shiren sitting right there. But he's not gaining anything from that slip. He's in his 7th gear. He's looking up the inside of Skyjacker. Skyjacker brake. Oh no, the outside. So Skyjacker's got it fended off for the moment now. Daz and UB still 5th and 6th. We'll have a look at that battle in a second. But at the moment, Skyjacker just maintaining ahead of Shiren and Uncle B. And oh, there we go. Oh, it's very tight between Daz and Uncle B as well. The two Darrens. It's a double Darren showdown out there with Daz and Uncle B. And it's a tough call between the two of them. Oh my words. And we've got Skyjacker. Oh, Skyjacker's pulled well away. Oh no, Shiren. Shiren must have made a small mistake, and Skyjacker now has got himself 3 seconds breathing room. Oh wow, poor Shiren, but good on Skyjacker. Look at him go as they start the final lap. Digital Blasphemy, he's going to cross for another lap. He's clawed that time. He's dropped behind Shiren to 7 seconds. He needs Shiren to make another mistake. And there is Daz. Daz, he's going to cross. Oh no, he's got another lap to do. So yes, Daz is going to have to do another lap, as is Uncle B, and it's going to be tough between the two of them. The double Darren showdown here at Sinqua. And there we see Koi Carp making his way around under no threat whatsoever from Ranger. Ranger's tight on fuel, but he should make it to the end. Electric not too far behind, trying to close the gap. And Rivixter's already finished. Koi Carp will be the next man to finish. Let's have a quick look at Uncle B. Oh, he's dropped back from Daz. He's dropped back, maybe a small mistake. That gives Daz a bit of breathing space as well. Similar to Skyjacker. Skyjacker there, 3 seconds ahead of Shiren. So Koi Carp coming across the line for 7th spot. A great race for Koi in that battle with Ranger, Electric and Jokus. And Koi takes 7th from Ranger coming around. He's on vapors there. He's on vapors. Only 1.5 seconds ahead of Electric. Another lap and it would have been toast. But there you go. Ranger in 8th. Electric finishing in 9th. Joker's coming home. Not too far. See, they weren't too far apart, them guys, in the end. And there is Joker's in 10th spot. He's on vapors as well. Coming home to finish in 10th. And Matt Psycho is just behind, I think, I don't know, who was it? Ranger? Not Ranger, sorry. Skyjacker still got that 3 seconds on Shiren. Shiren will be cursing. He was right there. And he's lost another 2 seconds to Digital Blasphemy. So maybe Shiren is concerned with his fuel, Digital Blasphemy not so concerned. Oh, it's Turtle, sorry, Turtle. So Turtle comes over the line to get 11th spot in this race. Oh, well done to Turtle. And here comes Matt Psycho, second win in a row. Super stuff. So far he's got the fastest lap and pole, so maximum points there for Matt Psycho as Skyjacker making his way around, and Sharen's closed that gap again from 3 seconds, but I think Skyjacker's easing off the fuel. He's having to ease off the fuel because he's low on fuel. So is Sharen. Digital Blasphemy can close up on those two. But no, I think he's easing off as well. I think that's it. I think they're all having to ease off a little bit. And Daz, he's got that 3 seconds on Uncle B now. Here comes Skyjacker to grab second place. Awesome podium for Skyjacker. And a brilliant job, well done. Sharen gets third. Take a boo, my son. Digital Blasphemy. Oh, he'll be not happy, I imagine. But fourth is fourth. And here comes Daz, amazing race, man of the match, driver of the day for Daz there, from right at the back to get fifth place. Great strategy. And Uncle B, commiserations, man. Oh, sixth place. Looking like a solid podium early on, but just one stop too many. Hoo-wee, what an interesting race. And there he is, there's the man, Mr. Psycho, Matt Psycho, showing us his trophy, pole position, fastest lap, and the win. Maximum points for the super driver. Great job by Matt Psycho. Oh, hang on. Let me just quickly grab that or I'll forget. And then we'll do this. So there he is. The man of the moment, his second win in a row. Matt Psycho doing an absolutely superb job in the Beatles. Skyjacker didn't think it was possible. Never, ever, ever would I have put money on Skyjacker finishing in second place. I thought his strategy was all wrong. I didn't think he was going to get that fuel to last for the final part of the race. And there you go. That puts egg on my face, because there he is, the man, Skyjacker, in second place. Sharen finishing in third in the end. And I don't know what happened to Digital Blasphemy, but you've got to feel for him. He was only seconds behind Skyjacker with more fuel, and it was looking very strong for Digital Blasphemy getting second place in this race. But something happened to make him lose a big wad of time. And he came home in fourth. Daz, the driver of the day, man alive. We saw him hit that barrier. He was some 7 seconds off the rest of the pack after the third, fourth corner. And what a drive to come back to fifth place. So well done, Daz. And it was the battle of the Dazzers, the Darrens, a double Darren showdown in fifth and sixth, with Uncle B, Darren finishing in sixth. And they gave a beautiful, beautiful show with their racing out there. Uncle B will probably be wondering how he didn't get the podium early doors. He was running in second place, doing a super job, but he just had to take that one stop too many. And yeah, a little bit more fuel saving for Uncle B, and I'm sure he's going to be a regular podium sitter, as is Daz, if he doesn't have an off on the first lap, as he has done in the last 2 rounds. Koi Carp in 7th place. A solid drive from Koi. He was in that battle with Electric Ranger and a Jocus early doors, but he came out on top and finished in a magnificent 7th. Ranger in 8th. Great drive from Ranger in his first bug race. He got used to the Beatles pretty quickly. His fuel saving was awesome, and he got himself 8th place. Electric in 9th, Jocus in 10th, Turtle finishing in 11th, and Rivixter bringing her home in 12th. That Psycho got the fastest lap on lap 7 with a 2:59.409. Great racing by all. Super stuff. So in the chat, we've got Mama Psych saying, Super Matt, well done. Great racing, guys. Nice one, Thingy. Matt Psycho saying, Thingy, can you choose all VRC tracks, please? He's loving it. Look at him. And VRC. Skyjacker saying, meh. Meh. He wasn't overly pleased, but second place was brilliant. Pat. Oh, he doesn't like the track, I'm guessing, because he just said that, Matt, no. And Pat saying, Sounded like a good one, that race. We'll have to watch it back to see it properly. Have been racing. Oh, yeah. What are you racing in, Pat? Are you having an affair on us, mate? So that is that then. That was round 3 of the Superbug. Superbug now. It's not even just the VDUB Bug Enduro Cup, it's the VDUB Superbug Enduro Cup. No, the VDUB Bug Enduro Cup, round 3 at St. Croix. And I'll tell you where we are next time. Next time out, if it was France, I've been trying to keep them like similar tracks or similar locations. So next time around, we are at Alsace. And Pat saying lol. Yes, so next week we'll be at Alsace, I believe, another French track. So look forward to that. It's another street circuit, I think. And it's quite an interesting track also. That guy, no NERB GP in sight with a big smile. They're boring. Anyway, I'm not getting involved in the whole track debates. A little bit later on, you won't be up for it, but when you wake up, there will be Oh, he was saying mer to me, thinking I couldn't do P2. Didn't think you had enough fuel, my friend. I didn't think you had enough fuel, but you proved me wrong. That's why I said I've got egg on my face. Totally. Yeah, you did a super job. I thought, well, Digital Blasphemy was very close, though. Digital Blasphemy was pretty close. I don't know what happened to him, but it was going to be a tough fight for you to keep Digi behind, I reckon. Anyway, so yes, I'm doing the GTMCs later on tonight at some point during the evening. So when you wake up, thanks Thingy, Uncle B Darren saying, thanks Thingy, see you on Tuesday. Yes, I'm going to be live Tuesday. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what happened to Digi. Oh, there you go. Yes, we'll be live again because it's the big grand final of the Super GTs at the Green Hell. So you can't work through that, can you? I've got to take it off so I can do the live stream for that. So yeah, I'll be live on Tuesday, sometime during the evening. Matt saying thanks Thingy and Sky. No worries, Matt. Super stuff. Yes, so yeah, sometime during the evening tonight. When you wake up in the morning, the GTMC, last GTMC round will be on YouTube. And I'll be live on Tuesday night for the Super GTs. And then we'll be live again Friday evening for the Super Formulas. That was a humdinger last week. Do not miss out on the Megans and the Super Formulas. And then we'll be back here again Sunday evening for Alsace in these V-dubs. I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Bill Ding. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace and love. Peace and love.